No, this guy took my lunch money. I remember. I was trying to farm this guy at +1, and he took rating points off of me. Hard. Hikaru's lunch money has been taken. Alert the authorities. Yes. Yes.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to show you my game from yesterday's Tile Tuesday tournament against world number 2, best of very best, none other than Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. This game is a masterclass in technique and how to convert an extra pawn into a win, but without spoiling too much for you, let's see the game first and then I'll break down critical moments and key takeaways. One thing though, it is pleasure to play against some of the best players. It makes you feel like you're part of the history. So let's see what happened in this game. Oh, speaking of the devil, take with the pawn. Can we get away capturing with a pawn? Something looks fishy here. Like some knight e4, knight c4 stuff in the air. Bishop e5 or knight e5 is the question. I guess knight e5.
Oh, well, wait, what's that? Wait. Isn't that just a free pawn?
Ah, wrong decision. You're in a pawn. My man Hikaru is almost 3,400. 3,385. What's the record on chess.com? Highest rating. So we're trying to pose some problems to this A2 pawn at the moment. Guess what? If I go D3, he's gonna go to B2 or what? Alright. Ah, queen e1 move. I forgot about the queen e1.
Tough game.
We got cooked. This Hikaru guy is good at chess. Alright, what did we learn from the game? Let's start from the beginning. So game starts as a ready opening, but quickly transposes into Queen's Gambit, declined trails. I fianched my bishop on the long diagonal here, and after bishop d6 we have a standard Queen's Indian type of position. He parks the knight on e5. I try to undermine it with c5, and this might have been the first inaccuracy, I think, because it encourages bishop to land on f5, pinning my knight. So maybe something like queen e7 or rook e8 would be a little more practical. However, he did not get to use that properly. And what was the proper way? If you saw this moment earlier on in the clip, take a moment to think here what would be the way for white to get an advantage. But as you can see, Hikaru was not able to figure it out at the board, so it's not so easy. The move is knight to e4, using the fact that my bishop on d6 is not defended, attacking that bishop. Now if I take back, queen takes d6, and white does not win the material, but this dark square bishop is going to be a monster. Other bishop and rook coming to d5, my pawn on c5 is weak. Computer evaluates, look at that, +3. Okay, so the best option for me was to retreat the bishop simply, but now queen comes to g4, attacking the g7, and the point is after g6 he can take on d7 and then take on c5. I'm gonna drop the c5 pawn. I guess best option for me is taking on e4, but bishop moves back, and now again white has a very easy game, and my pieces cannot really coordinate properly. If knight f6 here, then bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, knight takes c5, winning a pawn. A very crafty move, knight to e4, which we both had the feeling about, but we're not able to see properly. Okay, this is the kind of difference between classical chess and blitz, online blitz especially. I feel like in a classical chess, 10 out of 10 times Hikaru would be able to find this. Okay, now queen to g4 was played in the game, and the main inaccuracy here was knight e5 for sure. It was not as bad as I thought during the game. I thought that was kind of like game over. Apparently the correct move is simply g6. It's very strange that that was not the first thing I thought of when he played queen g4. Simply pawn is under attack, right? Why not just move it up? I'm not sure why that was not. I consider knight f6, but so queen h4. For some reason, immediate simple g6 jumped off my head, and bishop has to move back. Now knight e5, then probably like rook e7, queen e7, rook e8. Black is doing completely fine here. Okay, I may even be getting ambitious down the line there, opening up the long bishop. Okay, and then knight g4, then starting some counterattack on the king. But yeah, knight e5 kind of decided the game, and from decided the course of the game for the next few moves here. I got one more chance because my bishop gives me some counterplay. He's got to be careful here not to allow, for example, something like this rook g6, and I figure this could be very dangerous for him actually. So he blocks rightfully that diagonal with e4. Now that gives me some chances on the queen side, but again, the move that I missed here was queen to e1, kind of forcing the queen trade. Computer still suggests don't trade and keep the queens on the board, but already too low on time here. I was not sure what to do and figured I may try to go for the rook endgame. However, this rook endgame was hopeless, simply. But instead of queen c3, computer apparently likes simply bishop a6, don't allow knight c4. What if it goes queen e1 now? Then I can annoy this rook from a3 apparently, and it's still not going to be so clear. 0.3 only. Okay. But after queen c3, I think he converted pretty well. Okay, this is my many of the one of many countless encounters versus Hikaru, and although I do have few wins, mostly it is lessons. Okay, so the big takeaway from this game, I think, should be when you have an extra pawn, stabilize. Try to limit your opponent's counterplay to as little as possible, and stabilize. Stabilize means establish coordination between your pieces. Take measures against opponent's counterplay. And number 3, try to simplify. Simplifying meant putting the knight on c4 there for him and trading queens. Okay, very masterfully. So stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. That was the big takeaway, and a very masterful representation by Hikaru. Okay, I hope to get more chances to play against some of the best players in the world, and if I do and you want to see my next game, make sure you subscribe to the channel and support it however you can. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one.